Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to another video. Those of you who caught Sunday's vlog know that a pair of my angelfish have spawned. And not only did they not eat the eggs, they did not eat the wrigglers, and they actually got their batch of fry up to the free swimming stage. And on Sunday, there was a really nice cloud of them there. Now, normally what I do with cichlids that lay eggs and take care of their fry is I just let them do what they're going to do, and there's never really much of an issue with it. Now, those of you who have bred angelfish know that that's not the case with angels anymore. They have been bred so many times by so many people, and a lot of the process involves people taking the eggs and artificially hatching them or removing the fry at a really early stage and then raising them up as well. And it's gotten to the point now where getting parents to take care of their offspring in angels it's a gamble. You don't know whether they're going to do it or not. So what I like to do in this sort of situation, instead of just taking all the fry, because I don't really need 100 or 150 angels anyway, what I do is I take a percentage of them, like about 25%, maybe 30, and I would normally move those to a separate tank and then raise them there. But nowadays, seeing how I have everything's on air-driven system, there's no one source of water anymore. With the old sump system, all the tanks had the same water. It was all at the same temperature, and it was very easy for me to pull fry out from one section and put them somewhere else. I can't do that anymore, really, because it is, like I said, all the water is different, and I didn't really want to shock the babies. And on top of that, breeding angels is at a slightly higher temperature than I keep my fish room. And again, that would be a matter of having to set up another tank and heat that as well. And I didn't want to do that either. So this is the solution. This is going to be an in-tank fry nursery. Now, this isn't an original idea of mine. I actually got this from watching a number of YouTube channels. The first place I saw it, though, was on Jattern Aquatics. Jason had set up a number of these in his fish room and was raising a bunch of fry. Now, those of you who aren't familiar with Jason's channel, I will leave a link below and go check it out. It's well worth it. He's a really nice guy, and he does a lot of stuff. Actually, I'd be really surprised if you haven't heard of him, and you're probably already subbed to him, but if you're not, definitely go and check him out. Now, I'm going to run a bit of a variation on your setup, Jason. I am going to run this by air. Now, all my system, of course, is already set up for air. I could have dropped a small pump in here, run a splitter on that, and then supplied a nice small trickle of water into this. But like I said, it's all set up for air, so I'm going to try it this way, at least initially anyway. So it's going to be a bit of a guess as to how much air to run to get a nice slow flow to this, because I think that's relatively important. If the flow is too hard, it's going to have a lot of turnover in this small chamber, and I don't want that because I'm going to be feeding initially on vinegar eels and infusoria, and if I have too much flow through this, it's just going to end up going out those holes you see there, and it's not going to give the fry much of a chance to have a meal. So I'm going to run it initially very slow, and again I'm going to have a lot of infusoria in here and vinegar eels initially, and then I'm going to move up to microworms, and then we're going to see after that. We're going to see how well the fry do, and as this progresses, I will make changes as necessary. So those holes you see up front, they are going to be the exit, where the water is going to exit. And at this point, you're going to wonder, how am I going to get the air and everything to have water into this? But in my rush to get this done, because this was a Monday morning, and I was noticing there was fewer fry in the tank. So I wanted to get this done, and I had not drilled the hole yet. So that's coming up yet. So you'll see that soon. And there's those 4 remaining pieces you see there. They're going to form brackets, and they are going to hold a sponge in place, a rather nice open pore sponge. The pore is sufficiently small, though, that it will not allow the fry to get out. And because there's not really going to be any real current in this whatsoever, really, for that matter, they'll definitely not have any issues with that. So that's good. So this is just going to sit in the aquarium, and those 2 brackets you see on it are going to rest on the sides of the tank, and this is going to have a number of good effects. First off, the tank will supply the heat to this, so this doesn't have to be heated separately. And the other thing is, because the aquarium is filtered and this, obviously this thing isn't, but because there's a water change going on here, the water change is going to come from a nice filtered environment and also the environment where these guys hatched. So it should be nice and stable. And again, this is new. I haven't done this before, so it might be a bit of an experiment. But one of the other things I thought was kind of neat about this, because this is going to be transparent. I'm not sure whether or not at this point the parents are going to eat all their babies, or are they going to keep a certain amount of them. So this is going to have a visual stimulus for the parents. I'm hoping if they can see fry in the aquarium with them, because they don't really comprehend that this is a separate tank, they may actually be I'm not sure if this is going to be a learning experience for them or not, but hopefully after a spawn or two, they may become better parents. That's my goal here. We'll see. This may just be just a simple fry separator, and I'll end up having to raise whatever fry I want on my own. But like I said, I want to give this a try, and we'll see if that imprinting with having that visual stimulus of their fry right beside them, but they can't eat them, it'll hopefully teach them, to hope in time to take care of their fry. Well, like I said, we'll see. And also, this is, like I said, going to be a bit of a learning experience for me as well, because I'm not sure what flow rate to give this, but it is adjustable. I'll be using one of my adjustable air stones that I made a little while ago, the no clog ones. So I'm going to start off at a really slow trickle initially, and then depending upon the cloudiness of the water, how long the infusoria and the vinegar will stay in there, all that sort of stuff, I will gradually make adjustments and figure all this stuff out. So this is their first batch and my first batch of trying this method, so it should be interesting to see how this all works out. So this is pretty much done now, besides drilling the hole that I forgot to drill. So what I'm going to do is, that little slot is where the sponges is going to go, and I calibrated the brackets so it will firmly hold the 3/4 inch piece of sponge I'm using for this. And this, like I said, this is going to slide right into the aquarium. And once there's a hole there for access for where the water is going to come in, it'll just fill up and it'll be good to go. So there you go. Very simple build. It didn't take very long, and this is the kind of build I really recommend for people who are just starting out to try working with acrylic. Again, because it doesn't require it to be watertight. If it leaks, it's no big deal. It's in the aquarium, so it's no problem at all. If you end up with a slightly wonky gap to something, as long as it's smaller than the fry, it should work fine. So as you notice there, I have made another one. Whenever I build something like this, I usually try to build two. Mostly because I may end up with other batches, but it's just as easy to build two as it is to build one. So this is Monday around noon, I think. I can't remember exactly. And as you can see, there are considerably fewer fry. So that was part of the reason why I was hurrying to make that. I was getting to the point where I was concerned that they were going to eat all of them. So what I did is I removed more than 30% this time because there were so few left. I think there's roughly around about 50 fry roughly in there at that point, and I figured I'd move about half of them. So there aren't any fry in here yet, but it's all set up, it's in the tank, and this is how it's going to run. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to siphon out the babies that you saw there, and I'm going to put them in here. And that air stone is adjustable, so I can turn that up or down depending upon how much I want this to turn over. And here are the fry that same day, and as you can see, they're doing quite well. But I'm going to do a clip at the end here. I'm going to show you, I think about 3 days later, and from the look, or the change I should say, in the fry, I'm actually really kind of happy the way this is working out so far. They have nice little bellies on them, so I know they're eating the infusoria and the vinegar eels. So again, we'll see at the end here another clip of this. So as always, if you like the style of video, please like and or subscribe. Leave lots of comments. Let me know what you think. And I think by the next day, they had eaten all the fry that were left, and that's unfortunate. But hopefully, because they can just see them here, they will, like I said, be stimulated not to do so next time. We'll see how that works out. It may not at all. Who knows? So anyway, the last clip is going to be them like another day older than this, and they're actually getting to a nice size, so I know they're doing quite well. The water is a little cloudy, as you can see here, because I am feeding a lot of infusoria, and you can see actually the vinegar eels moving around in there. So that is supplying them with lots of nice food, and they will hopefully grow quite nicely. So far you can see they're actually bigger. The last clip here is going to be a side-by-side of when I first moved them in, and then this shot here as a still, and they are at this point, like I said, 3 days older, and you can already see a growth difference in them, and that's actually kind of nice. That's, like I said, 3 days difference between the two, so I know they're getting enough food, so that's good. So thanks again for watching. I will see you in the next video, and bye for now.